So I'm just hoping. Obviously, it's not likely to happen, and it probably won't happen, right? But I'm just hoping that Helenius doesn't actually beat AJ today. And the reason why I say that is because I really want to watch the Deontay Wilder versus AJ fight. I think that's one of the most compelling fights in heavyweight boxing, and I don't want Helenius to be the banana skin that stops that from happening. Now, is there a chance that this could happen? There's always a chance, but Helenius has scored an upset before. I believe he fought Kaunaki and managed to beat him. And obviously he's coming off a loss against Wilder, and he does seem like he's got a lot actually going against him, as he is coming off a knockout loss. He's going up against a younger fighter who's a lot more talented. But the fact is, this is heavyweight boxing, and all it takes is one punch to change a fight. So I'm just hoping that Helenius does not cause an upset, because I do want to watch the Wilder versus AJ fight, and I do think this is the last chance to loon for AJ. I mean, if he loses his fight against Helenius or looks unimpressive doing it, well, if he loses, I think that's it. His career's over, because obviously he's got two back-to-back losses to Usyk. But if he loses to Helenius, it could be over. But the thing is, him actually looking unimpressive against Helenius when Wilder knocked him out in the first round might be able to work in his favour. Now, the reason why I say that is because if he does go into the Wilder fight straight afterwards, I think Wilder and his team would grossly underestimate him if he was to give a bad showing against Helenius. I'm not saying to the point where he loses to him. I'm talking to the point where he doesn't look that spectacular. He doesn't knock him out quickly. He looks a little gun shy. I think that could give a false sense of security to Wilder's team and make them think that AJ is completely past it. However, I just hope he gets past this fight, and I think he should do it. I mean, 9 times out of 10, AJ would win this fight against Helenius. But there is that 1 out of 10 chances that Helenius could potentially land a shot. Because let's be real, AJ is a little vulnerable and Helenius can bang. So, yeah, I think definitely AJ should win this fight. But if Helenius pulled off the upset, I would just lament that, because obviously I want to see the fight between AJ versus Wilder. I think that could be one of the most compelling fights in the heavyweight division, apart from the undisputed fight between Usyk and Fury, obviously. So yeah, that's just my thoughts. I think Helenius is a game fighter. Helenius has caused upsets in the past, but he is coming off a knockout loss. He is older, and ironically, he's in a position now where he's fighting the major cash cow in the division, who's coming off two shaky performances against Usyk, and he didn't look too good against Franklin. So, and obviously he's got a new training camp as well. So, with all of that being said, probably give Helenius a 20% chance of winning this fight, but 20% chance doesn't mean that it's impossible for him to do it. So, I just hope AJ looks impressive and we get the Wilder fight. And I hope Helenius doesn't become a banana skin from the Wilder versus AJ fight happening. To be fair, this has happened in boxing before, where a fight has been organized, and an opponent has to take a tune-up fight, and they end up losing the tune-up fight, and the bigger fight that was supposed to happen down the line gets scuppered. An example of that happening is obviously Evander Holyfield and Mike Tyson. Evander Holyfield and Mike Tyson were supposed to fight. It was supposed to happen in the 1990s, I believe, the start of the 1990 decade, when obviously Mike Tyson was on a 5-year unbeaten run, where he was beating champion after champion and beating opponent after opponent, and he looked so good doing it. And then he took a little tune-up fight against Buster Douglas, who was supposed to destroy. And then we saw what happened there, the biggest upset in boxing history and sports history as well. So I do sometimes get worried when fights like this get organised, where there's supposed to be a big fight down the line at the end of the year, but then there's a little tune-up fight. And let's be real, this has happened in the past before, if you think about it. AJ and Wilder were supposed to fight, I believe. They offered 100 million to Wilder for a fight with AJ, and he was supposed to fight one opponent, which was Jarrell Miller, and then guess what? There was a late replacement who was Andy Ruiz, and what ended up happening? Andy Ruiz ended up beating him, and there's a very similar thing that is happening now. AJ was supposed to fight White. He was going to get a bigger fight in the future against Wilder or I think it was Fury or one of them. No, it's against Wilder because Wilder had the WBC belt at that point. And then what happened? There was a change in between. Jarrell Miller failed the drug test, just like the Dillian White has done just now. And then there was a new opponent that got stepped in, which was Andy Ruiz. Just like there's a new opponent that's been stepped in Helenius. And then we saw an upset happen. So I'm just hoping Robert Helenius does not become a banana skin or upset the apple cart, because I really want to see the Wilder versus AJ fight. I think that's one of the most compelling fights in heavyweight, in the current heavyweight landscape. AJ versus Wilder. I'm going to make a separate video talking about that. But tell me what you think below. Do you think it's likely that Helenius can cause an upset? I don't think it's likely, but at the same time, I think he's eerily got some similarities with the Andy Ruiz fight. The first Andy Ruiz fight in New York, where we saw what happened. Andy Ruiz absolutely beat the brakes off AJ. Obviously, AJ dropped him in that fight, but he ended up getting stopped and got dropped 4 times by Andy Ruiz. So it does have shades of that fight in there. So it is making me a little bit worried, because I do want to see the Wilder versus AJ fight. I really want to see that fight. So tell me what you think below. Do you think an upset could happen? I think it could, but I'm hoping it doesn't. I just got this eerie feeling that something might go a little bit off in the air today. So tell me what you think below. Like and subscribe to the channel. I've got a lot more content coming your way. Peace.